Hey everybody, it's Cheryl, lead Off Leash K9 Training. I hope you're having a great evening. I am here with my live Tuesday Q&A, and I wanted to start off with chatting. Hi Mandy, with just chatting for a minute about something I talked to today with a person I'm doing one-on-one trainings with, and she's working on to e-collar with her little dog Riley. And we got to talking about leash control, like with a regular leash versus e-collar control. And it's interesting to think about because people that have a dog on a leash, and let's say you're walking downtown and you meet a friend and, hi Mandy, and you meet a friend and you've got your dog on a leash, and you're chatting with your friend over here and your arms over here because your dog's on this leash going this way. You're not really you're not paying so much attention to the dog over there. You're chatting with your friend. Something I've noticed with off-leash work, which one of the things I really love about it is because you have to be really actively paying attention, actively focused. Even though you can still be having this conversation with your friend, you kind of still have to be looking out of the corner of your eye, like, what's the dog doing? It's not just this passive attention anymore, this leash going on over here. And so all of a sudden you start noticing these things in your dog. What's the dog behavior when a dog walks by? What's the dog behavior when there's a loud noise over there? What's the dog do? What's the dog do if somebody wants to go pet it? So instead of just having this, like I said, a passive control or a passive attention to your dog because it's on a leash and it's tethered to you and it's not going to run away, versus when you have dogs off leash, you have to pay more attention. You don't have to be rude to the people you may be talking to whatever else you're doing, but you have to pay more attention. So it's just a benefit of off-leash work with your dog, having this, finer tuned sense of what your dog's doing instead of just passively having them tethered or tied to you. So I hope that makes sense. We talked about it today, and I just think it's a really cool concept that happens when you start doing off-leash work. And I'm going to jump right into a question that my friend Mandy brought to us, or to me. Let me bring it up so I don't muck it up. Mandy says, my young dog is expressing mean food aggression toward the older dog. Both dogs wait patiently outside the kitchen while I prepare the meal and put the dishes down. They don't go until I say, okay. She's fine if she gets to her dish first. She knows out, and I can take her food away while she is eating. So it sounds like she's not resource guarding with people at all, Mandy. It sounds like you can answer if you want. But she can't stand to be second in line, or if another dog approaches her while she is eating, she will attack the dog. And tips, question mark. So she's a puppy, right? This is the little rescue pup. And how old is she? And does she have human aggression, or resource guarding from humans as well? So let me know those. But just off the bat, I would make her eat second. I don't know, is she on an e-collar? I don't know how old she is. I can't remember. If she's not on an e-collar, get a little prong collar for her. I think she's pretty tiny. Get a tiny, the micro prong, put it on, have a long line, I use clothesline. So it's just this long cord, maybe a 10-foot piece of long cord, no knot at the end. So it can't get, she's 2? Oh, I thought she was a pup. How big is she? She's pretty small, right? Isn't she just a tiny little thing? I think she's a little small girl. Anyway, back to the micro prong. If she's small, put a little prong collar on her, tie this piece of clothing line. Hi, Tioga. You came down from the bedroom. You thought it was nighttime. Tioga's here to say hi. You say hi? Hey, say hi. Oh, he's leaving. Anyway. Put the prong collar on her, make her wait even longer. 50 pounds, yes, e-collar. Oh, okay, so I'm going to just stop what I'm talking about. She's big. I thought she was tiny. So put the e-collar on her. Does she have a good place command? Put her on place and let the other dog eat first. Make her wait. And you're going to have to stand. So food bowl's here, other dog's eating. Her place bed is over here a ways, Space is your friend. Space is pressure, but it's also relieves pressure. So When dogs are really close together, there's a lot of pressure. When you give space between them, it lessens that stress or pressure. So give her space, let the other dog eat first, and make her wait. So what she's learning now is she doesn't get to eat until the other dog is finished eating. It's going to take you longer, but probably not that much longer, because I have a feeling she probably eats pretty quickly. So let me explain it again. Get both food out. Have one up on the counter, the one for your dog that's resource guarding and being aggressive towards the other dogs. Take the other dog food, put it down, let your other dog release to eat. Now this 50-pound dog is still sitting on its place, waiting, wondering what the heck's going on. I would have a tie back on. I'd have a leash. I just would. So you can control her with the leash should she try to break place, but use the e-collar if she's trained on it to hold place. Otherwise, definitely use a leash and a prong collar just to make it easier for yourself. Let the other dog finish eating. As soon as the other dog's done eating, say break or okay, whatever your word is, and let her go and eat. And over time, she's going to realize she doesn't get to eat until the other dog has eaten. So like Tioga knows, he only gets fed from his bed. And so when we come home from a walk in the evening, he runs to the back door because that's the closest entry to the house to where his bed is. He runs right onto the bed and just sits there and waits. And it might be 30 or 60 minutes before he even eats, but he knows to sit on that bed and wait to eat, even if other dogs are eating first. So when I started doing this and this boarding and training, he would get up and get antsy when the other dogs were eating. But now he knows just to chill out and relax, and he'll get his food if I end up making him wait. So try that. Let me know how it goes. The other part is, so that's part of it, having her learn how she gets fed. But maybe if it were me and she's 2 and she's 50 pounds, I would actually put it on high. And as soon as have her on a leash again, so she can't actually get to the other dog, but let her get close and do a correction. I am a fan of correcting a dog, one and done, high level. Oh my God, that really sucked. I'm not doing that again. So there's 2 things going on. There's managing it and having her learn to eat after, like that's just what she's going to get conditioned to do. She's going to eat after the other dog eats. And then setting her up, having her growl or do whatever her thing is, and hitting her on a high. So what you're doing is you're making it really, really uncomfortable for her to growl. It's going to suck. She's not going to like it. And if you do that 1 time, 2 times, she's going to realize, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. And you can proceed it with a nope if you want. But I hope that helps, Mandy. Hey, Melissa. And if you have more questions or it's not quite making sense, let me know. Put it in the comment section. But thanks for that question. It's great. I'm curious how that new pup is doing, that new dog, 2-year-old dog is doing. Okay, so this is from somebody from it was on YouTube and it was 3 weeks ago and it got stuck in my spam folder. It's Clara from her YouTube site, Clarifying Beauty. So if you're out there and you get to see this, I hope you do. She says, quick question if you have a second to read this over. We are currently have an almost 5-month-old husky puppy. She's great while we're at home, but she's definitely a Velcro dog. We can't even take showers without her screaming, crying, scratching at the door to be let in. All of that is manageable, though, until we leave the house. She has been trained. Well, I wonder what that means by manageable, because she shouldn't be doing those things. She should be in a crate while you're taking a shower for now. She shouldn't be out wandering the house, scratching on your door. So it might be manageable, meaning you don't really care, or you can yell at her and she stops for a minute. But if you're not actively paying attention to your dog and providing structure for her, then the crate provides structure when you're not there to do it. So when you're in the shower with the 5-month-old dog, she should be in the kennel. So that's going to help just right there. Anyway, so all of this is manageable, though, until we leave the house. She has been trained to eat in her crate and sleep in her crate up until about a month ago when her potty training hit stride and she could hold it through the night. Does that mean she's not sleeping in the crate anymore? Because she still should be sleeping in the crate. It seems like you might have taken her out of the crate and now you're just putting her in the crate in the daytime. Not really sure, Clara, but I'm going to keep reading. And she could hold it through the night. But as soon as we leave the house, she poops in her crate. We had it sectioned off small, good for her, but she poops in it anyway. Ooh, bad. regardless of whether or not we're gone for 5 minutes or 5 hours. Not only does she poop, but she rolls around in it and cakes it into the bottom of the crate, making it almost impossible to clean and meaning she's getting multiple baths per day some days. It also doesn't seem to matter whether or not she's pooped outside before we leave because she seems to do this anyway. We're becoming increasingly frustrated. I don't blame you because nothing seems to work. Any thoughts or tips? So just thinking about what I said earlier is make sure she's in the crate at night still, and she's in the crate during the day when you're actually home with her. I have quite a few videos on separation anxiety on my YouTube channel, so go check those out. There's probably 5 or 6, and the first few explain what you should be doing during the day when you are working with a dog that has separation anxiety, and this sounds like a huge case of separation anxiety. The other thing you can do, I've heard people do this, I haven't done it myself, you get straw, you get an airline carrier, so it's not a wire crate, it's a little more enclosed, and you get straw or hay, and you put that in there, you fill it halfway, so the airline carrier is this tall, you put it halfway with the straw or the hay, and it becomes more of a nest for them. I've heard it's helped with soiling in the kennel, so you could try that. But I feel like I don't know, because you didn't really explain. I don't think she's in the kennel enough maybe when you're at home. That could be the problem. So try that. If it doesn't work, either one of those don't work, if you're still struggling, then let me know. And if she is in the kennel all the time, then I have other ideas. But it sounds like she needs more kennel time. And I have another question about separation anxiety and how to use the crate, so I'll address that in a minute as well. Christine Manning, any advice for a 3-year-old German Shepherd dog who is afraid of thunder, rain, and wind? That's a great question. Lots of dogs are afraid of thunder. And this is something like with separation anxiety. Is this dog in a kennel or a crate, Christine? If you could answer that for me. And thanks, Mandy. Report back. I'm really curious how it goes. So I'm just going to pretend she's not in a kennel. Well, it doesn't matter. She is in a kennel, she's not in a kennel. She needs to be in a kennel. So when you have a thunderstorm happening, put her in the kennel, and if you don't have an e-collar, you might want to get one. This might seem converse. No crate, we do have a thunder cave for him, airline. Okay. Do you have an e-collar? I think it might be raining outside and we really need rain. It's supposed to rain tonight. Sorry, I just got distracted by hearing it raining outside. I'm very excited. So I don't know if e-collar is happening, Christine, but get an e-collar, because this is going to sound opposite of what you might think you should do, because a lot of people want to baby that and take care of it. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. And that is not what you want to do. You could try a thunder coat. Those sometimes help. But what I would do, and this is what I do for separation anxiety, and I would do it with thunder and lightning, or at least the thunder part, I would put the e-collar on and start tapping it at a number. Oh yeah, we are anxious. We need the rain. E-collar, e-collar. Do you have an e-collar? So put the e-collar on and start. Yes, you have the thunder vest. E-collar? Waiting to hear and see if she has an e-collar. Put the e-collar on, get an e-collar, get a good one, get a mini educator by e-collar technologies. They're awesome. You will love this tool. It works for so many things, not just addressing certain specific behaviors. But put the e-collar on. This is what I do for dogs that have separation anxiety and they're in a crate, circling, whining. It looks the same thing as thunder. Put the e-collar on, tap it at a 10, tap it at a 15, and tell the dog, meaning just press the button. It sends stimulation. You're tapping, stim, stim, stim. You're tapping, tapping. And at some point, the dog's freaking out, but all of a sudden, you're going to override that anxiety that the dog's having with the thunder, because you're going to be dialing up on the remote to get to this number where all of a sudden the dog's like, holy mackerel, what's that? And you keep doing it. And the dog, usually this happens with separation anxiety, and I've had it work with thunder, they lie down. They give it up. And sometimes you have to go pretty darn high. So it might seem counterintuitive because you're like, I don't want to add more stress to the dog, and you don't want to stay low. You want to get up to the numbers where it's overriding their anxiety. And hopefully you've done some low-level e-collar. You're afraid you're going to zap him at the wrong time. Have you done low-level e-collar training with him? If you haven't, do that. Do it when the thunder's not happening. Get it so he understands a down command, first off. Larry Krohn, go on Amazon.com, look up Larry Krohn, Larry Krohn. He wrote a book on e-collar training your dog. It's really simple. It's like $10. It's cheap. Get it, read it, and start conditioning your dog to the e-collar, not just to zap him. What I was talking about is zapping, but first do some conditioning and use the e-collar in a low-level way, and then do what I'm saying, which is more of the high corrective stuff. Hi, Jody. Wow, nice to see you. It's been a long time. And start doing low-level. Yes. So Mandy just talked about a good thing. Indiana, I'll put it up here tomorrow or tonight sometime. I'll put a link to this rehabilitation rescue place in Indiana. And she has a great video on exactly what I'm talking about with the dog in a kennel and giving stim until the dog settles. It's amazing because you're overriding the anxiety. It adds a little like, what's going on? And they lay down and it stops. And then they're like, oh. And then they get up and the stim starts happening again. And then they lay down and it stops. So I will post below this afterward or tomorrow a link to that. So check that out, Christine. It might help. And do this when the thunder is happening. Do it. Also do some low-level e-collar training. And I wouldn't worry about zapping him at the wrong time. What you're trying to do is just get him out of his anxious mind. It's kind of like splashing water on somebody's face that's having an anxiety attack, because that's really what's happening. You want to bust them out of it. And if you're watching the dogs I'm working with right now, Maisie is really anxious, but the e-collar is helping her remember what she should be doing. When I say come and she's freaked out and I'm up at a highish number, I say come and she's like, ah, and she comes running to me. Or I say down and she's like, okay, down. And then she calms down for a minute. It's amazing. It's like a slap in the face or water thrown on somebody that's having an anxiety attack. It kind of startles them out of it and they remember what they're supposed to be doing. So this can work for thunder as well. I hope that helped, Christine. Override the anxiety. Exactly. So this is another little point with e-collars. I love working with e-collars. This is something else I talked about today with a one-on-one client. You know, we can sit here at a really quiet place in my living room or at a library or a church or something that's someplace that's just inherently quiet. And I can whisper and tap, here's you, come on, we should go. And you're going to hear that. But if we're at some loud, boisterous Las Vegas nightclub, you're not going to hear me say, come on, we should go. I'm going to have to say, hey, Cheryl, let's go, you know, and I'm not being mean. I'm just overriding the stimulation and the distraction so you can actually hear me. And that's the same thing as a dog that's stuck in fear. You're overriding the stimulation and the anxiety and the distraction so they can hear you. So that's exactly what I mean. So try that, Christine. If it doesn't work, let me know. Let me know. I've got another question here. Let's see. So I watched this. This is from somebody on YouTube. Can't read the name because it's one big kind of blah word. I can't say it. Anyway, I'm sorry. It was from yesterday. I watched this video. It was a separation anxiety video. And the name, it's like Greniha 20 Shiny. Anyway, I watched this video to help me with my 1.5-month-old Beagleier, which is a beagle crossed with a Cavalier King Spaniel, whatever they're called. But I still require some tips. Can you help? She can't be left alone. Otherwise, she'd claw at the door and start whining. We only got her yesterday. Oh, it's a new little dog. So go watch my separation anxiety videos. You have to take time, 3 days to 10 days, somewhere in there, depending on how bad the dog is and how focused you are. You got to take some time off of work and really spend time with that dog and map out your day into blocks of time. So let's say you have 6 hours. So maybe make 3 2-hour blocks. So in the first 2-hour block, you take the dog out of the kennel because they still need to be in a crate, whether it's a puppy or not. If it's a new dog to you, you need to crate train it. You need to. I promise this really helps. Dogs do not need to free roam around the house. They're doing that because we think it makes them happier. And it really is just, we feel guilty that we're not paying attention to them. So kennel your dog and have them in the kennel, take them out of the kennel, take them outside, go for a potty, 5 minutes, come back in or stay outside depending on where you are in the training. Do some training. Practice a recall. Practice a sit. Practice it down. Do whatever it is. I have tons of videos on YouTube. Pick one and practice it for 2-3 days. So do school for 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your dog's attention span. Then, so now you've eaten up, maybe 40 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes of a 2-hour block. Now you're going to go play with him for 10 or 15 minutes. Structured play. I like structured play. I mean, I make a dog work a little bit for the play. Like I'll make them sit and then I'll throw it. And then I'll grab it and play tug, 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 tug. And then I'll get it out of his mouth or teach him an out command. And then I'll make him sit. So maybe he has to sit 3 times during that play time. But mostly it's play. Then I might take him for a structured walk, not a free-for-all walk where he's leading the walk. I might do a 20 or 30-minute walk. Then I come back in. So now we've eaten up maybe an hour and 15 minutes, put him back in the kennel, and he's in it for 45 minutes. And then start over. And if you only have like 30 minutes to actually work with him, do 15, 20 minutes of work, the school time, then do the 10 minutes of playing with him, then forgo the walk. If you have to do something for an hour and a half, put him back in the kennel, let him be in the kennel for an hour and a half where you're in the kitchen cooking and preparing dinner that night or sending emails for work. If they whine or do anything and they're not on an e-collar, bang the kennel, say nope, and bang the kennel and walk away. Don't give any kind of chit-chatty or baby talk to the dog if they're whining in the kennel. Also during this time, make sure they're waiting at thresholds, waiting for food, waiting to get in and out of the car, waiting to get in and out of the crate. That's all threshold stuff. Looking for eye contact. So that's it. Some of their training, they're having fun, and they're also in the crate during the day when you're there with them. And it really, really helps for then when you finally do leave the house, they're actually used to being in the crate. So somebody had asked a question earlier, and I said I'd address it, talking about crate time, and that was the answer to that. Watch the separation anxiety videos. Really pay attention to the first 2 where I talk about, I think it's the first 2 where I talk about these blocks of time and creating structured time for your dog. Yeah, Christine, if he's stuck, use the e-collar to unstuck him and unstick him, and give him more jobs. Place command, this one woman I'm working on one-on-one, her little dog Riley, he's a little white fluffy dog. I've posted a couple videos. She said today, she goes, this place command is just amazing because he was barking at the door and charging anybody that came in, all this kind of stuff. And she's been doing place. Hi, Linda. How are you? Nice to see you. Anyway, Riley has been charging the door and doing all kinds of naughty things, barking at people, nipping at people, and she's just loving the place command because it gives him a job. And it's kind of like yoga. He can go hang out on place and eventually just fall asleep. And she's just starting to do it the last probably week, and she's really digging it. So place command is a good one. It's a good job. Let's see, one more. Here we go from Alicia. I just caught up on the video. Oh, I'm going to cut through some of this. I've been working really hard the last week and a half with the collar, more obedience training, more outside running to help remove energy, more yes and no, and we have seen an improvement with her. She is no longer jumping on people when they enter the door 90% of the time. We have finally been able to do off leash in the yard, and she listens. So lots of things going well. That's awesome, Alicia. She said, I noticed by working her mind more and getting more energy out, she's listening a whole lot better and doing a lot better. And to be honest, it's more of that mental challenge that really fatigues the dog. It's amazing if you start doing obedience training and having some rules and boundaries and structure, it makes them crazy tired. Anyway, so she said thanks, but what are some tips to work with leash training? She's getting better sometimes, and she pulls really hard. So get a prong collar. I'm not sure which collar you're working with. I can't remember. I'm sorry, Alicia, if you're there, let me know. If she's not on a prong collar, get a prong collar, because that is going to change everything on the walk. I use prong collars on every new dog that comes in. To be honest, I never used them on my dog because I spent more time, but it's just a quicker way, and I find it, now I would use it on a dog of mine because it's quicker and it's way more subtle. You can use a half an ounce of pressure on a tiny dog and a half a pound of pressure on a 50-pound dog just for in walking, and they get it. They really start looking at you more, paying attention to who's on the other end of the leash, following you around. So go to YouTube, watch my introducing a prong collar to a dog, and follow that and do it, and you will find the walk, it's a done deal. Put a prong collar on, walks over, it's done. I like the hand. Hi, Linda. Look forward to seeing you in August. If any of you are out there in or near Salida, Mandy, there is an awesome dog trainer, Blake Rodriguez, going to Linda Cutrara's, I think that's how you say it, Linda. She has a place in Salida, and she is hosting Blake Rodriguez from Dream Come True K9. He's out of New York City, and he is amazing. I'll be there. It's a 2-day seminar. So if you're interested at all, put a comment here or message me, and I'll get you in touch with Linda, because I'm super excited. I think it's the 24th-ish, 25th, 24th of August. Or Linda, you can even jot something down in the comment space here. So yeah, lots of thumbs up because he's awesome. I'm super excited. And if you're not following him, he's amazing. He blows me away. I just love following his work. He's got a big training center in New York. He has quite a few employees, and he just does good stuff. He's not just good with people. He gets the dog thing, and I like that. Like, he imitates dogs, and he's just a good trainer, and he seems like a wonderful guy, so I look forward to meeting him. So anyway, that was my last question that I pulled out today. If I have some left over, I will. Oh, there's the dates, August 24th, 25th, 26th. And if anybody wants to look at it, because I know a friend that has a place or has land in Salida, maybe she'd want to come and camp out and check it out. So maybe put a link to you, Linda, there. And if people are interested, they can contact you. But I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. He's amazing. Anyway, I hope you guys have a wonderful week. It's Cheryl, lead Off Leash K9 Training. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great one. Bye. And there it is. Oh, people are home. There it is. Linda just put the link there. His name, Yvonne, is Blake Rodriguez, and Linda just put his website up there, www.dctk9dreamcometruek9.com. And Mandy, check it out if you happen to be in Salida that weekend. It's super cool. He's a great guy, and it'd be fun to hang out with you. All right. Thanks, everybody. And Yvonne, you should go too. He's awesome. Have a great one. Bye.